Good evening once again, and welcome. My name is Lorelei Gould, and I have the honor of serving as president of the Hendersonville League of Women Voters. The League is hosting tonight's candidate forum for those candidates for alderman for the city of Hendersonville. As you may know, the League is a nonpartisan political organization of men and women. As an organization, we do not support or oppose candidates for office nor political parties. We do take a stand on issues after a process of study and consensus. The League has a proud history of sponsoring candidate debates.
I first became a resident of Hendersonville, a citizen, in 1953. I've been your newspaper editor here. I've been a businessman here. This is my hometown, and I'm running for this office because I'm gravely concerned about the way that Ward 6 is being neglected in Hendersonville. Let me give you a couple of examples. In 2012, when Mr. Waters, my opponent, was running for office, he said to the then Alderman Hobart that he would be embarrassed to ask for people's vote and still ride on those terrible roads, and he mentioned them. Those roads are still terrible, and if he's true to his word, he'll be embarrassed to ask for your vote. Secondly, he said at that night at that forum that he was the only one in the room that really understood what people were feeling about the flooding. And here we are 4 years later, and some people's houses have flooded 6 times during his tenure.
Thank you, Mr. Jim Waters.
Good evening. Thank you, League of Women. I'm Jim Waters, Alderman Ward 6. My family and I have been a resident on Southburn Drive for nearly 40 years. Virginia and I have been married for 56 years. We have 2 children. One graduated from Hendersonville High School. One graduated from Beach High School. We have 3 granddaughters. One graduated from Merrill Hyde Magnet School. We have 1 great son. I am an Army veteran. We've owned our business for some 25 years. Since retiring, I still feel the ambition to help our people. I submit to you, being an alderman these last 4 years has been a blessing to me and my family. When seeking this position, I made a pledge. I would give them the service they expected and deserved, nothing less. I am fortunate to be in the position to serve as a full-time alderman, and that's why I ask my residents in Ward 6, if you have a problem, call me. Don't call City Hall, because I know the directors, I know where to take the problem and get your problem solved. So I ask for your support and your vote this coming November. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Waters. All right, we'll start the question. Ward 6 candidates, beginning with Mr. Raphael and then with Mr. Jim Waters. This question is long, gentlemen, so if you want me to repeat it, please ask, no problem. The initiation this year of the Durham Farms community and other expanding residential, school, and park development in the North Drakes Creek area of Ward 6 have dramatically altered the area over previous projections. There is a citizens committee that continues working with city planners on proposals for bike and pedestrian trails, as well as safety, utility, and economy improvements, as well as other considerations for the area. Questions. First, can you tell us what you know of this plan? And secondly, how you will work with citizens and your constituents to ensure that necessary improvements to pedestrian and traffic arteries in the area protect the integrity of the residential community while benefiting Hendersonville overall?
So do we get to have a long answer?
I wish you did.
Because that's a long question. I can tell you that the neighbors in that area are very concerned. That's the first thing they say to me when I knock on their doors. And they are concerned that the roadways that connect these various projects that are going on out there are inadequate. And what we've been doing is we'll build a project here, and the developer will put nice roads in it, and another one here with nice roads in it, and another one here. But we're having problems connecting those. And we need to have a better plan as to how we're going to address that situation. We don't need to be opposed to growth. This is an amazing city, and I'm not opposed to growth. But we have to manage the growth in a way that everybody's life, quality of life, is enhanced, not diminished. And even new development can bring up some enhancements if we handle it properly. And that's what needs to happen out there. I've driven through it. It's going to be big, 1,200 homes. And Stop 30 and some of those roads are just not ready for that. So we have some work to do.
All right, thank you. Mr. Waters.
Thank you. Well, first of all, he's wrong on the number of homes. It's 1,800 will be built in the next 2 or 3 years. But being a member of the Public Works Committee, which I'm proud to be a part of with my colleagues, Pat Campbell, Mark Skidmore, and our director, Chip Moore, we've got a lot of work to do on Drakes Creek Road, and the work is in the pudding. We're starting right now. So I know we have a time frame because the traffic is going to get terrible. It's going to increase because of the homes are already been selling out there right now. And the new park it's going to be open pretty soon. That's another disadvantage for the people traveling back and forth that live out there. So yes, we have our work cut out, but the Public Works Committee is on it right now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Going to Ward 6, beginning with Mr. Waters, then Mr. Raphael. How do you propose we pay for addressing the flooding issues in your ward?
What was that question again?
How do you propose we pay for addressing the flooding issues in your ward?
Repay?
We pay.
Repay or repave?
No. How do you propose that we, the city of Hendersonville, pay for addressing the flooding problems?
Well, living there as long as we have, we've been through the big flood. We've been through 2 other water backup problems. But to answer your question, to pay for what's been done, I think the Public Works Committee is already involved in getting it straightened on the Drakes Creek side by implementing a what we call a under trussel 3 pipes. That's going to really relieve a lot of the water coming from Drakes Creek and from up on the hill that's caused us all this problem all these years. To repay it, I don't have any reason to say that we need to cause our taxpayers to pay any more. The taxpayers didn't cause this. Development on the other side of Drakes Creek has caused it. If anybody should pay, it should be the developers, but that's long gone. But right now, Public Works is working on a program that I think we're going to resolve. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Raphael.
Well, it hadn't been solved in a long time, and it's been going on a long time, 30 years. But there are some good ideas that are being floated on the Board of Mayor and Aldermen right now. One of the aldermen has suggested that we have a fee of maybe $24 a year for each home that develops income and resources to deal with only the flooding issues only. And we certainly need to do that. We have in the past, the city has, with the help of government funds at a rate of maybe 80%, purchased some of the homes that are in dire's way and cannot be fixed easy. There's also talk on the board about creating some ordinances that would allow the city, which would be a change of policy, to go onto people's properties in order to correct some of these drainage problems. And the truth is, it's the problem. Our campaign is saying we need less talk and more action. We've talked about this. There are ideas out there, but what we need now is action. We need to take some of these good ideas and put them into action.
Next question for Ward 6, beginning with Mr. Raphael and then Mr. Jim Waters. How will you hold developers accountable? Let me back up. How will you hold developers accountable for off-site consequences resulting from their development, including roads, traffic, and stormwater drainage?
Well, when you're talking about holding them accountable, as you well know, the city Planning Commission and the city staff works through all these developments. And if problems are created downstream, then perhaps that we have cause that we didn't do due diligence to make sure those things did not happen. We have some developers in this city who have turned my hometown into an amazing place. I mean, when you drive through our city, I'm proud of it. Now, do we have some problems that maybe should have been addressed and maybe still need to be addressed? I'm sure that we do. The truth is, our city has grown so fast, we haven't kept up very well. And we have got to have the best leadership possible. We can't go through another 4 years over in our ward without leadership to deal with this stuff. And another 4 years would be devastating to us. So we have got to look at these things, but some of these developers will work with us if we work with them, and we'll end up with a beautiful Hendersonville.
Thank you. Mr. Waters.
Thank you. As of right now, as we speak, Public Works Committee has started a program with these developers. So many years they have got by with just doing their thing and then leaving us responsible. Maybe 2 years later, maybe 3 years later. We now are trying to get something going where the developers' fees will go up, but they don't pay anything for what they do. So we've got to put a mandate on increasing their fees, and we've also got a mandate that they've got to take care of the sidewalks and the abutments to the next subdivision. Right now, we have a problem on Anderson Road where a developer is building, and we're already getting complaints from a subdivision where they're getting water coming from this other side. So right now, we are on the committee, we're working to stop this from happening in the future.
Okay, Ward 6, beginning with Mr. Waters and then Mr. Raphael. How do you plan to address the road improvements throughout Ward 6? How will we pay for them?
As of last week, again, being on the Public Works Committee, I have the advantage of really knowing what's going on. Right now, we have got an engineer working, and don't ask me how they're doing it, but they have equipment that goes down the street, and they can check the condition of each road. It needs to be paved. They have a condition that they use. It goes like 55, 60, 65. The lower the number, the worse that street is. So that means we have got, as a Public Works Committee, we've got our work cut out for us to come up with the reason to work on the worst street first. Not what that alderman wants done or what that resident wants done that lives in another ward. We've got to take care of the street that's in the worst shape. And believe me, we have a lot of them in the worst shape. That's in the process as we speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Raphael.
Even though he's on the committee, he's admitted that we've got lots of problems. I visited with a lady on Alexandria Court who moved into her house 19 years ago, and her street's never been paved since then. Her little daughter showed me a scrape on her knee, a scar that she has because she had a wreck on that bad road. Those roads that Mr. Waters talked about 4 years ago are bad. I have videos of them, and they are not good. Years ago, the city of Hendersonville had a plan where, and I believe it was on a 12-year cycle, it may have been a different number of years, but we went through and repaved every street in the city over that period of time, and then we went back and started repaving them again. 19 years is too long. We have allowed it to get out of hand. We cannot fix it all at once now because we're so far behind. But we need to develop a project-by-project basis, and we need to be able to tell people when they can expect to have a better road to ride on.
And no, I'm sorry, you each get a closing statement. I apologize. I really don't want to get out of here like it sounds like. Okay, closing statement. And we will begin with Mr. Waters, then Mr. Raphael, then Mr. Woodcock, Mr. Lamar, Mr. Gilley, and Mr. Ames.
Thank you, sir. And again, thank you, ladies, for the invitation. As I look at the last 3 years, I'm amazed at the tremendous growth just in Ward 6 alone. I look behind Cracker Barrel, 8, 9 new merchants. Now, I don't know about you, but this is more inviting to me than a bunch of apartments. Look at Hobby Lobby, Glenbrook Shopping Center expansion, the widen of Volunteer Drive off Old Shackle. This is the project that your Public Works Committee can say is a win-win situation, not only for the city, but for the Expo Center. They have a large national medical call center already in place and expect over 900 employees by the 1st of next year. So in closing, I'm proud to be a part of the growth, although I hear people criticizing the committee and the board for too much talk and not enough action. But they don't understand. You got to communicate with one another, whether it's a committee or whether it's Bowman, to get things done. So in closing, I'm proud to be on the Public Works Committee, and that's why I'm asking for your vote and your support on November the 8th, so I can continue to work on the Public Works Committee. Thank you for your help.
Thank you. Mr. Raphael.
One of the problems we have is that Ward 6 has alienated some of the board, and they don't work with us, and so we're all hurt. But I need to change what I had planned to say in my closing argument because of something that happened Saturday that concerns me. I was over in Ward 2, and I noticed Mr. Waters and his son politicking over there, and I thought, why would a Ward 2 alderman a Ward 6 alderman be in Ward 2? And if you check the records, I think you'll find that money that was contributed to Jim's campaign ended up being given to Terry's campaign. And I know you said that you guys are not connected, but the people of Ward 6 are not real happy about this that's going on. Jim voted against nepotism, a city ordinance that the firemen and the policemen wanted, and yet he thinks it's okay for you two guys to sit up here on the board together, and I just think that's inconsistent. I love this town, and I promise you we're going to have harmony if I have anything to do about it with that board. We have to work together, or else we won't be happy with the Hendersonville we end up with.